Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's
Uh-oh.
not
Did
good.
he
I
break
didn't
the cameras again?
I didn't switch back to the voice chat.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was still in our actual chat, so I switched over and it was
Oh.
definitely like zoomed in and on like
You
one
broke
word.
it.
Yeah, don't worry. My
Uh
audio is also not working the way it should,
oh.
as usual.
Uh-oh.
Stream broken at the beginning? You don't say. That never happens.
Never happens.
Shocking
Everyone always
everyone.
made fun of me for this, but I'm not even the one streaming these anymore. So now you
Yeah.
can blame these two.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can blame
Yeah.
us. That's okay. Ha!
I'm just
Ah,
here.
I
Cody,
tried
are you
to
dying?
I tried to talk and the drink got like stuck in the back of my throat. About fucking
A
died.
terrific start to the podcast. This is wonderful. We're
Oh Jesus.
we're great.
Hey,
We're
look,
good at this.
nobody said this was ever professional, okay? We're here to give opinions on video games and video games news. And are they good opinions? That's for you to decide. Okay.
That's right.
Oh man.
Cody,
But
I've got to say, you have so much red going on.
I do. I have
Even
this,
more than usual.
this blanket or whatever is here because like my daughter was sleeping in the chair behind me and whatnot, and I was like, "You want this blanket?" I brought it from the living room. No, not that blanket. I want my frozen blanket. Blah blah blah. All right, you little shit. Yeah. So she about to be 3, and she's still barely taller than my knee. She can be so tiny. Anyways, that's besides the point. Boys, what you been playing this week?
I've been trying to get back into Nebulous Fleet Command
Ooh.
because they've got a big update coming up in like a week. That's the crazy 3D space submarine game.
Okay.
And they're adding a whole new faction. And the new faction is like kind of this like ragtag fleet where your ships are like retrofitted pieces of shit. And like there's one that just has a bunch of cargo containers on it, but the cargo containers are your missiles. So you're just firing these big ass fucking cargo containers that shoot out and blow up.
So they're orcs. Got it.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
pretty orky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Oh man, I actually did see Shane streaming that earlier, and I was just like, man, I need to study, but I am curious about this game because I've never seen you all play it. So I was like, I was
yeah.
tempted. I was tempted to hop in, but I had stuff I got to do. So,
Mm-hmm.
Tim, what about you, buddy? You been playing anything?
I've been trying out a lot of newer games that came out.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't buy Wild Hearts. Even though I want to like that game and I want it to be good, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of shooters, which is great, but not like Halo, but like Dead Space and Atomic Heart, and still playing the Outer Worlds again. So, yeah, I'm just having fun playing Warframe still too, because Warframe.
Big sci-fi vibes.
Yeah,
That's what that sounds like.
basically.
Yeah.
I mean, Starfield's not out. I gotta play something, so.
I know you gotta kill about 4 more months there, buddy.
Well, yeah,
like three,
probably.
3-ish.
Hopefully, it's only like 3-ish.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, if you want,
Yeah.
I'm the pessimist from the group. I don't think it's coming out till holiday, but that's just me. Yeah.
That's not happening.
How about you, Cody?
So, well, 2 things. I did finish all the Star Wars movies. I don't know if I talked about that here with you guys.
You haven't? No.
My favorite, well, all the Star Wars except for the new ones.
Yeah.
I have watched those semi recently. The 3rd one is still awful, so I don't want to subject myself to that again. But the 6th one was my favorite for my bad take that I love Ewoks.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love the little Ewoks. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But I feel like the 3rd movie in both of the original trilogy and then basically the prologue, the 3rd movies in those really tie up the rest of the story. You know what I mean? It really puts a bow on things, and I'm very appreciative of that. So, but yeah, that's kind of my feelings because I just can't get over Luke getting his ass beat by the fucking Yeti from A Christmas story or whatever in the beginning of the 5th one.
They're
Like,
called Wampas. Thank
dude,
you.
I don't think there's a Yeti in A Christmas Story. I think you're
you know,
confusing
you
movies.
guys, I can't remember the look. Once again, very tired boy. I can't remember
Like
the
claymation.
Yeah, the clay. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The
I know exactly
claymation
what you're talking
Yeti.
about.
I don't fucking remember the name of that
Yeah,
movie.
the same movie.
Uh,
A Christmas Story is the one where the kid gets his tongue stuck to the light pole.
Oh.
He'll
and
shoot your eye
He'll
out.
shoot your eye out, kid. We're talking very different things here.
we are, but people know
There's
what I'm
no
talking
Yeti
about.
in that movie.
Where people know what I'm
There
referencing.
is a very risque lamp.
Oh my god. But yeah, I just can't get over the beginning of the 5th movie. Even though my cousins did explain to me that they had to put that scene in there because Mark Hamill got in like a motorcycle accident and cut up his
Yeah.
face or some shit. And so that's the whole point. And I was like, I don't care. It doesn't fit. It makes no sense. It's just a
Oh,
total.
you didn't notice that he looks markedly different in the second, third, and for the rest of his life after the first movie?
No, because to be fair, you got to remember, I was kind of like mostly listening to the movies and kind of watching because I was doing like data entry, boring shit at work. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of like on my phone. And then when they would lightsaber battle and shit like that, I'd really pay attention, you know, or like if he gets drug into the fucking garbage like he does in the first one. So yeah, but yeah, I did finish that, and because of that, I've played a lot more of Fallen Order recently.
Yeah.
I'm getting through it slowly but surely. I've got 4 planets unlocked. Not sure how much a fan I am of the Metroidvania going back to planets
It sucks.
after getting force powers unlocked.
I did not enjoy that in that game at all.
Yeah, like I'd rather
It
just
didn't
like
feel good.
yeah, I'd rather just like complete a planet and then move on and never see it again. Even though I did get my little friend because I got force push and I went back into Bogadon or something like that, the first planet, and you can get one of those like little, I don't know, fucking rabbit things or whatever to be on your ship.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
nice.
a little unlockable. I was like, oh, that's cute. Haven't seen him on the ship yet, but apparently he's there. So,
Yeah,
so-
I did think that was a cool aspect of it too, almost like Mass Effect, where you get kind
Yeah.
of trinkets if you go and look for them.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how big of a fan I am of that, but it's not a bad game. I'm enjoying it. I mean, as far as Star Wars goes, so.
Yeah, it felt very refreshing
Yeah.
to have a Star Wars game like that, because even though it was similar to the Starkiller games in a lot of ways, it definitely stood on its own 2 legs too.
Yeah.
It had way better combat than Force Unleashed as well,
Yeah.
and was less buggy. Not that that's hard to do.
Yeah, that's true. I will say I think my favorite part of the combat is like after I unlocked the double-bladed lightsaber or whatever, like knowing I have to switch between like single and double and depending on like the situation, and like so I have it mapped to my back buttons or whatever on my Elite controller, and I'll just be like swapping back and forth like real quick in the middle of combat. And it just feels nice, right? You know what I mean? But you get some dude who's like trying to shoot at you a lot. You're like double time, and then and then as soon as you kill him, you fucking switch back to the main one, and yeah, I don't know. It's I have a fun time with the combat. So, but anyways, enough about me. That's what I've been playing. Still in a sort of Star Wars mood because it's easier to play Star Wars than to lose 6 hours into Hogwarts Legacy because that's exactly what will happen.
I've noticed something. So I listed off my games, and you're like, "Oh, sci-fi vibe."
Yeah.
Let's see: Nebula Space Command, sci-fi games for me, Star Wars. This is just a sci-fi show tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. I mean, okay. So since we're already on kind of the sci-fi vibe, do we want to jump straight into Atomic Heart, and we want to hit a couple of the smaller things first? Because I feel like Atomic Heart's gonna take up the most time.
Whichever. I don't know. We can just
I'm
jump
good
into
with
it.
that.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's hit the smaller things first. As in Madden 24, is it going to be potentially the last Madden? I don't know if you guys
Yes.
read that article at all.
I did.
It doesn't.
It's only taken 10 years of the exact same fucking game for them to go, "Oh, people aren't happy. Oh, maybe we should really
Well-
we should try hard this time."
Well,
That's a
there are other options coming out soon. NCAA is coming out with a new game. 2K is coming out with a new game. There's a free to play I don't know if you remember Maximum Football, but that's coming out as a free to play option. I don't call them competitors, right? Because they're not
Yeah,
necessarily
Doug
competitors.
Flutie's Maximum Football has always been awful.
Well,
People forget they tried to get Doug Flutie on the cover of that one for 3 years in a row, and it didn't help.
Yeah, but I mean, there's other options, and I think at this point people are willing to, especially free to play, are kind of willing to put up with those other options if it's even a mid-level sim football game.
The only legitimate threat is going to be 2K and NCAA, sure, but that's also coming from EA, so I don't actually think it's a risk to Madden.
I mean, there hasn't been an NCAA game in almost 10 years. Oh God, almost 10 years. Holy shit! Last one was 2014.
Last game was NCAA 14, which came out in 2013. It's literally been 10 years.
Yeah. Oh my God. And NCAA. The worst part is NCAA 14. Tim doesn't necessarily agree with me on this, but I love that game. I thought it was a fantastic football game.
The NCAA games I always liked, but I didn't love them as much because I like pro football more than I like college football, and I would rather have a 35-28 is a high scoring NFL game. Whereas that's nothing in college football. College football, you double that, and it's like, okay, that's a high scoring game.
Yeah, that's true. There's truth to that, yeah, because the talent level differences between the schools and stuff can be pretty intense. But it is kind of interesting that we're finally seeing EA look at Madden and be like, maybe this isn't it. It's only, like Tim said, it's only taken 10 years, only 10, but they're finally kind of at that point. I just find it funny that it's at the same juncture that you're hearing about all these other options being available, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish, honestly, and we've talked about this, so I don't want to talk about it too long, but I just wish they'd go to live service for fucking Madden, right? You know what I mean? And every 4 years you come out with a new one and go from there, kind of thing. But
I just wish that they would do two separate games. Do a football sim, and for those that want to play Mutt, do Mutt as a free-to-play live service game.
Yeah, they could do that too. That's
just
also
split
another
it.
option. So, I don't think they're willing to pay the money to have the different teams is probably the main issue. So,
I agree.
But anyways, yeah. So there's
my mic. It just got limp dick syndrome. It won't. It's like
whiskey dick.
I can't get it to stay.
I'm the one drinking whiskey, sir. Stop showing me up on stream. But anyways, Tim, the look on your face. Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's good to see that they're at least reflecting on the franchise as a whole. Because even though, like me, and I have my little Madden league that I play in and get my ass beat in, that's maybe eventually we'll see like a resurgence where, because I was watching somebody play fucking like Madden Head Coach 09 the other day, like just they made a YouTube video, and my kid was sick and I'm on the couch or whatever. I'm just like watching YouTube, and the amount of shit you can do in that fucking game, and you don't even control the players, is just absolutely insane. And it's like, put that in a current Madden, give me that much control, and I will probably like it a lot more than what we have right now.
My arm just literally fell apart. Just literally, like, the stand came off. It came unclamped. This thing came out. The whole thing. Hi.
You are now a newscaster. You have to hold it up to your mouth.
We're figuring something out. Hang on.
Okay.
Anyways, all right, we'll move on here. Justin, I saw you put this in here. Ubisoft is introducing a cool new way to punish players who abuse false input settings.
Yeah, this is cool. So, in Rainbow Six Siege, they have a way to like split up players based on their input rather than what system that they're playing on. So people with like mouse and keyboard will play against mouse and keyboard. People with controller will play against controller. Unfortunately, what people will do is they will trick the system into thinking that they have a controller when they actually have mouse and keyboard, giving them a pretty big advantage in most situations in Rainbow Six.
Right.
And they'll just own everybody in the lobby, and it's fucked up. So they have this new way to combat this, Ubisoft. They're doing this thing. They call it like Operation Mousetrap or something. So players using mouse and keyboard, but pretending to use their controller. They're basically going to get increased amounts of input lag that start off being very subtle, but increase over time. And I just thought that that was such a fun way to do anti-cheat. Like, it's just going to make their game unplayable to
Basically,
the point of
yeah.
just like, is there something wrong with my computer? Oh, it's because I'm cheating. Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry, you were talking about that, and I just jumped back over to OpenCritic, and I jumped to the front page. I just realized something. What day is it? What day is it?
Today?
Yeah.
Today is Wednesday, the 22nd.
Second. Right. Do you guys know what comes out tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Company of Heroes 3.
Oh, dang.
I feel like I should know this.
I should know this. I am disappointed in myself. I didn't know that was coming out tomorrow.
Okay, but also,
Shit.
it's Relic, so...
Yeah, is that going to be on Game Pass?
I wish.
I would think it would be.
I don't see it in the upcoming when I looked earlier.
I don't think Dawn of War 3 was it?
No, it
No,
wasn't.
Dawn of War 3 wasn't, but didn't Relic help with... They didn't do the Soul Development 4, but they helped with AoE 4.
Yeah, I think so.
None of the Company of Heroes games are on Game Pass.
For some reason, I thought... No. Okay.
So-
Yeah, literally tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it has...
the beta was fun.
It has 89% critics recommend, and the top critic average is 81.
Good.
Yeah, it looks like a nice RTS game.
I need RTS in my life. So it's going on the wish
Quite
list.
like strategy games.
That's very true. I don't feel like I've played like a truly really good strategy game since Command and Conquer 3.
Excuse me, we just played Wesnov not that long ago.
I still don't feel like I've played a truly good RTS since Command and Conquer 3.
Okay, RTS, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Westnoth is a good game. I don't want to put the time into it, but it's a good game. Like I have nothing against it. Anyways, sorry, that totally sidetracked.
Yeah, that really flew under our radar.
100%.
I'm shocked that I didn't know that was coming, because I've been looking for a good RTS for a while now,
Yeah.
like a new one. Because you're right, there haven't been a lot of true RTSs that have come out. Like there have been some really cool ideas, like Terra Invicta, super cool game. Crusader Kings 3, super cool game, and it's real time, but it's not. And it's a strategy game, but it's not a real time strategy game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
I
there's
get
a certain mold there.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of looking. That's 2022. Okay. Blood Bowl 3 also comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll pick that up eventually.
Yeah, once it's on sale. Anyways, all right. I'm
probably the only one that does out of the three of us.
I think I have Blood
tried
Bowl.
one of them.
I think I have Blood Bowl 1 and 2 actually, but I don't actually play them. I just have them in my backlog. Real quick, Diablo 4 early access March 17th to the 19th with an open beta March 24th to 26th. And I see you had a question in here, Justin, that I saw earlier.
Oh yeah.
And that was if you have to pre-order something, is it really an open beta?
Yeah, I misread what they were saying originally. I thought you had to pay to get into, like, pre-order to get into the open beta.
Okay.
It's just for the early access period of March 17th through the 19th.
Yeah, you get extra early access before the open beta if you pre-order.
Okay. For me, I am excited. Ben, I would like to formally apologize here on the podcast because you definitely asked me if I pre-ordered it in the chat, and I totally forgot to reply to you. So I love you. I did forget to reply. I apologize. I did not pre-order Diablo. Once again, I test on March 9th, And so basically from now until then, there's not a whole lot of video games in my future, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Because I plan on promoting this year, so I'm done fucking around with this shit. So my video game time has been severely reduced to maybe an hour a day, maybe. But yeah, I am excited for Diablo 4. Outside of a good RTS to play, a good ARPG, like I dabbled in Path of Exile there for a little bit. You know, wasn't my cup of tea. Like it is, but it isn't. Like it's just, I don't know. It's kind of like Star Wars, right? Kind of, yeah. Like I really like Diablo, but it's also like kind of like Star Wars. I didn't have anything to hook me. Now I've watched the movies, and I respect the Star Wars IP in general a lot more, kind of thing. So I'm willing to stick with it. I know, Jesus. Right? Yeah, it took me a while, but I'm here now. I'm here. I'm not a super fanatic, but I'm here, and I've been turning on the Clone Wars anime every once in a while if I need some background noise. You know what I mean? Just to be like, oh, hey, who's this? What's her name? Akosha? Ahsoka. Yeah. Because I'm curious about that character, right? I just want to see her arc, because apparently, anyways, I'm once again tangent.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm the tangenting. Let's get back to this Diablo 4. Are you guys excited? Are you planning on picking it up?
I've never really been into Diablo games. I'll probably try the open beta just to try it out.
Right.
But yeah, never been my genre.
I love Diablo. Diablo 2 is still my favorite ARPG I've ever played. I'm cautiously optimistic just because Blizzard.
Right.
Blizzard has not been on a run of success.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah.
And I am really just like, if the first thing that I see when they launch as a cash shop, I'm going to be pissed. So yes. Game Pass is a thing. I really do want to play it ahead of time. I'd love to get into the early access, but I'm going to play the beta. I'm going to wait for the full release on Game Pass. And then if they, within 2 weeks launch a cash shop, I'm going to uninstall and be pissed and then eventually go back to it again, just like I did with D3. So.
Yeah, I played through all of D3's like base story, right? I played through that as played a nice little barbarian and killed that. I don't finish a lot of things, so that says something, right? You know what I mean? So I really did enjoy the first one. I just never went back for like the DLCs and stuff, especially because it was broken there for a long time. Had the Destiny problem where it needed a couple
You act
DLCs.
Like it's not broken.
Well, I meant more from like the cash shop and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like it was like, yeah, you just buy your way to fame. Nah, fuck all that. I'm not trying to do all that. So, but I am excited. If I have time, I'll be really excited to play it. I forgot to tell you boys, I'm starting a new position 1 April. So I'm going to be a NCOIC of Resilience for the base.
I don't know what that means, but congratulations.
I will be briefing on like suicide prevention and sexual assault and this, that, and the other thing. Like all that kind of stuff falls in my wheelhouse.
So you're HR. That's a terrifying thought.
Kind of.
That's a terrifying
You know what? You know what's funny? You guys should see me teach sometime. I had to teach about contingency lodging today, and I really need to make sure I don't cuss while I teach, guys.
Oh no, dude.
No, that's not. It's not okay what I'm teaching. Like it's okay in my little group of a squadron, but if I'm teaching like a colonel about suicide prevention and I call somebody a mofo, that's probably not gonna fly. I said mofo today while I was teaching, and in my head I went, I can't do that.
You went, oops.
Yeah, I was like,
that
fuck
doesn't
me.
Sound too good.
Did you only do it in your head, or
I
did
only
you actually
did it in my
look
head
to see if anyone noticed?
No, they definitely noticed. I'm standing in front of a group of people, and I said I said if all these mofos raise their hands or whatever, because I was referencing part of my former experience or whatever. Yeah, and then I was like, can't say mofos going forward. That needs to be dropped from the vocabulary.
Nope.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, sorry. Once again, I'm just out here today. Redfall. I'm the only one who seems even semi-excited for it. Everybody I talk to is like, meh, I don't even know what that game is. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
You know what my stance on Redfall is. I'm not excited. I want to be more excited than I am because I love the studio. It's just I haven't seen anything that's made me go, oh yeah, this is gonna be great.
Look, I got in an argument with somebody the other day because they said that Arcane hadn't made a good game since Dark Messiah.
What?
Yeah, and I was just like,
excuse me.
I
That
was
is
just like,
Dishonored 2,
the least
Prey,
popular
get the
opinion
fuck
I've
outta
ever heard.
here.
well,
People don't
they're
even know
Also, yeah,
Dark
Dark Messiah. I'm like the outside of that motherfucker. I'm the only person you know who's finished that campaign.
Justin,
Dark Messiah.
Did you finish Dark Messiah by chance or no?
I don't remember. My only
It's
memories of
a
Dark
long
Messiah are
time
just
ago.
kicking people into spike walls.
Yeah, which was an amazing mechanic. I loved the
Super
campaign.
good.
For some reason, all the enemies look like fucking ninjas. I still don't know why that's a thing. But like, yeah, Dark Messiah,
It's
the
so
fuck?
weird.
Yeah,
That's such a weird pull. And also, how the fuck they're not nerdy enough to have heard of Prey or Dishonored, but
No,
they're
no,
nerdy
they
enough to
know-
be like, oh
they
yeah,
know-
I know Arcane made.
they know about Prey and Dishonored. They are upset that Prey isn't like the original Prey. I think that's their biggest gripe because
It's better. Okay, it's better than the original.
They're a big fan of the original Prey. But anyways,
Okay,
that's besides the point.
I loved OG Prey. Prey 2017 is a better fucking game. It's a better video game.
Yeah, I don't think they gave that Prey a fair chance because it wasn't the original. I haven't played through that 2017 or what was that, like 2006? The original.
I don't even want.
It was. We were. It was.
Still old enough after the Dark Messiah reference.
Right? It was like 2006. It was sometime in like 8th grade or we were in high school is when it came out. It was in that realm of like Halo 1 to Halo 2 time frame. You know what I mean? Somewhere in there. But anyways, besides that, Redfall won't have any tethering, which honestly, this is great for me, right? Because so I bought Tiny Tina Wonderland for the Xbox, right? And then I noticed that it had crossplay, so I went ahead and bought it for the computer, and I'm planning on trying to play through it with my wife, right? You know, because she's playing Just Cause 4, and she just likes to watch things die, so I was like, this is perfect, right? You want to watch things die, and we can play games together, you know what I mean? Like, makes a ton of sense.
Say the name of that game again.
Tiny Tina Wonderland?
No.
Just Cause? Just Cause?
Does he think it's just because? Does he think that's what the game is? Is that what?
We can't get through a single stream without Tim being like, "Do you know English, motherfucker?"
Stop it.
like, do you know English?
Just cause.
I like Just Cause.
No. Oh no!
More casual title.
It is a much more casual title. This is a
Wait,
very
I know
different
it's
version.
probably.
I guess
yeah,
everything you do in the game, you're doing it just cause.
I mean, it is.
Why are you
It is
shooting
just
everything with a
'cause.
rocket launcher? Just cause. I felt like it.
That's what,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
I watched my wife. No joke. I'm sitting here playing. I was playing like RimWorld or something, right? Chilling, vibing out, like nothing stressful. I look up. She's hanging from the bottom of a helicopter like fucking Spider-Man, right? And they're flying over, like they're like the height of like 100-story skyscraper. I had to see her drop an NPC. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, because I can. And I was like, what? Like, what? She's just cackling. She's like cackling behind me. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I'm surprised you haven't played those games, Cody, because those games are amazing. It is a phenomenal sandbox.
I will say,
it's not a great story, but it's a great sandbox.
I've played them. I will say that Just Cause plays like ass on the Xbox. I was very disappointed. I was watching her play it, and I was like, give me the controller. And I was trying to like adjust the settings so it'd run better. You can't. To start with.
Oh no.
And it doesn't run great. Now great thankfully she's not like a snob like myself or whatever with some of that stuff, and she does deal with it, right? I wouldn't play it. It's awful. So anyways, but where I was going with that, before we had to point out my lack of English again, was that Redfall seems like a really good game since it's not going to be tethered, right? So you can run around and do what you want, but you'll get a buff if you play together, right? So that, like, just like Tiny Tina for me and my wife, we could play together. Redfall is going to fall in that same group, right? Where you can just kind of go off and do your own thing, or if you're gonna go on one of those little like portal raids together where I forget what it was, like you destroy a hearts or something in it or whatever. You can get better gear. You can do that. Then you can just fuck off and do what you want. And it's just I enjoy that mechanic. I think it's a good level of freedom where you could even match with some randos and you guys could be running around doing whatever, and then you could be like, hey bro, can you help me with this real quick? And then you guys can just go do something and then be done. You know what I mean? And go off and do whatever you want to do. So
I think that's cool. I still don't love that it's always online. And I'm seeing people say shit like, "Oh, but your story progression doesn't carry over when you go back to your single player file." And if that's the case, I don't like that. Especially cuz if you're not tethered, right? What's the point in joining a bunch of randos if anything you do doesn't progress your
because you
story?
still get to keep all your gear that you gain. So like I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying. The only story that progress from what I've read is the host, right? The host story will progress. Anybody who's not the host will not. But here's my thing. If you still get like, let's say you get like the achievements for helping the host, if you like still get that, even though your own single player, like your own world doesn't advance, does it really matter? I guess that's what I'm looking for. Like if all of us are playing together and Tim's the host, do I still get the achievement for beating X boss? Because if I do, then I don't really care about the offline.
That's all you need.
Right.
I'm in a weird spot with that too, because Elden Ring, that doesn't bother me. Souls games, that's never bothered me. Like co-op, like I know I'm summoning in to help you beat this boss, and it's not going to advance my world if I haven't beat the boss.
Right.
But for some reason, with it feels different. It feels like, oh, that's shitty. That's like, I don't know.
I think it's a different type of game, right? Souls games, like that's just an inherent piece of Souls games, right? If you get summoned in, all you get is gear.
That's how it's been. That's how it is.
It's always been like that. There's other games that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's other games that have the same formula as Redfall. Borderlands may. I don't know.
Borderlands, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't. I don't think you advance story in Borderlands co-op. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah, same. So, but like those type of games, there's probably a couple of them out there that you do advance a story, and it's the same formula or type of genre or whatever. So I can understand why some people would be upset about it, but I don't look at it as a deal breaker. You know what I mean? Like,
not
once again, if I get the achievement, what's the difference?
I feel like we breezed over this, but it's always online. Like you can't play by yourself offline.
No. You can play by yourself online.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no offline mode.
I don't like it.
You need an internet connection to play it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I will say this though. So how often do you realistically these days play a game where you don't have an internet connection? Like, oh yeah, I know that there are people.
It's not a big deal for sure, but yeah, literally, I was talking to somebody earlier who was like telling me about that, and I was like, really? You can't just play offline? Nope, you got to be connected.
Yeah, it's disappointing for me because it's like if I really like that game, I can't play it while I'm deployed, right? Like I can't play it on my Steam Deck while I'm deployed if I wanted to buy it on Steam and play it. Like that's not an option because because like I would have internet, right? But it's not necessarily great internet, and I'm not fucking with that shit dropping all the time. You know what I mean? So like those situations, but like literally less than 1% of the population are in the fucking military. So like, are you really gonna cater to that group or whatever, or that small minority that doesn't necessarily have internet connection? I feel like this was a much bigger issue about 10 years ago. You know what I mean? The always online thing. But like Tim said, these days, most people have some kind of internet connection. You know what I mean? So it's not something that I like.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
doesn't
not
really
as
make sense.
Right.
It doesn't hurt necessarily.
I don't. Once again, it's one of those things. Not a deal breaker. I think it's a bigger issue if we wanted to talk about trying to think of this word. Not happening.
Any Nintendo Switch game.
No. A video game. Like keeping video games relevant even long after they're not relevant.
Game preservation.
That preservation. That's the word I'm trying to think of. Yeah. And I think it's better. I think it's a better argument for that conversation than the here and now. You know what I mean?
It can be, but also if you think about like Demon Souls PS3 servers are still online because there are community servers that have been spun up to do it. So
but that game you can also just play offline.
Yeah.
You can. So there's that too. So like
and the they have to release the source code or something for communities to do that long after, and there's no guarantee something like that will happen for Redfall.
That is correct.
So I mean I don't know. Like I said, it's not a big deal for now, but like long term, like let's say somehow Redfall is like an unbelievable game, 10 out of 10, fucking huge piece of video game history. It's always online. You won't be able to play it in probably 6 years. You know what I mean? Like that's shitty. Like that's where the shitty part is. Does anybody expect that? No, I can't find anybody who's halfway excited for this fucking game. I think it's going to be a great co-op game. Maybe not a great single-player game, but it'd be a good game. Kind of like Halo co-op, right? You come in and you just throw shit at each other and it explodes and you have a good time. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm really expecting from that game. But once again, the main point, there's no tethering. Go where you want. Do what you want. Die how you want. Fuck shit up how you want. You know what I mean?
Yes, finally I can join my friends and completely ignore them and do my own thing and not even play the game with them together. I mean,
hey, choice, freedom of choice, right? That's what they're trying to give everybody. All right, last thing, and then we'll let Tim go on because he's the only one who's played both Atomic Heart and Wild Hearts. I mean, Justin's played it. You've played Atomic Heart too, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Last thing though, before we get into that, Jedi Survivor got an upgrade in my opinion, and it now has dismemberment. They showed in a new gameplay video. And look, if you're not going to have blood, this is about as close as you... I mean, I guess if you get chopped up by a lightsaber, there wouldn't necessarily be blood, but, you get what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of the next best thing,
Yeah, dude. Dismemberment is one of my favorite things in video games. Something about it is just awesome. Seeing somebody's arm go fucking flying across the room, very satisfying.
I would have been very disappointed if Jedi Survivor didn't have it because I don't think Fallen Order had it, but like if you go back to the old Jedi Knight games and Outcast and Academy, they all I think KOTOR had it too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
I might be wrong on KOTOR, but I know a lot of the old Star Wars games, like even like Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 came out in like 1998. You could chop off a stormtrooper's arm.
Right.
Not consistently because there was only like 2 lightsaber animations that ever happened, but like you could still chop off their arm.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's a step in the right direction, right? Because you can still keep it like PG-13. You know what I mean? Right. But it also like I'm a really big fan of We Who Are About to Die, which is the Gladiator game on Steam or whatever that I've talked to you guys about. When I chop somebody in half in that game, buddy. It's so satisfying. You know what I mean? Or like Mountain Blade, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Mountain Blade, you chop somebody's head off because you fucking went by them on a horse or whatever.
Yeah.
And the head just, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, just fuck that dude's shit up. Yeah, dude. It's good. It's a good time. Or like when Justin just throws rocks at people right off the horse. I'm never going to forget that clip. That clip is amazing, especially with the fisheye going on. So, I don't know. Anyways, so that's kind of like the smaller news. I guess the last thing, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because there's a lot more to come. But Xbox did make an agreement with Nvidia for a 10-year deal for their future games. Also, all of Xbox games are supposed to be available on GeForce Now, like as soon as the deal happened. So that's kind of a big deal. So if you have GeForce Now, your library just got way larger. But there's still a lot more to come when it comes to the whole Xbox, or not Bethesda, but Activision deal.
Yeah, they also made a deal with Nintendo, promising to put Call of Duty games on Nintendo with full feature parity.
Day and date was my
Ow!
whole
Yeah.
thing. Like
Ow!
that, they said day one release on Nintendo,
There
and I
has
was
to be
like,
a Switch Pro coming. There has to be something. Because can
either
you
Xbox
imagine
Game Pass has to be coming.
or it's like
oh yeah,
it's either going to be cloud streaming or there
Yeah.
has to be a more powerful Nintendo Switch system coming. Because can you imagine trying to run Call of Duty on the Switch natively right
no,
now?
I can't.
Yeah,
Just
I'm just thinking
melt.
about who they're gonna have develop the Switch version of these.
Look,
Like,
I
Run it
can't.
at
I would not want to be on that
160p.
team.
I'm having the same amount of problems imagining Call of Duty on there as I do the new Zelda game running properly. So I mean, that's just. I think it's in the same boat. And 7-year-old, 6-year-old hardware that was old when it came out. It would probably be cloud streaming. That's the only way I can see it coming day and date, which probably means Xbox Game Pass is going to be on Nintendo Switch by December, if I had to guess.
It makes perfect sense to me because if you have GeForce Now, and you still have an Nvidia Shield,
Yep.
you're using
That
literally the
hardware.
exact
Yep.
same processor as the Switch. So
It's true.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Shield on
But-
23rd night.
yeah, but there's, like I said, a lot more to come there. We'll see what happens in the coming months. I think it'll be done by. I think it's projected to be decided on by June. So that's really when we can get into the nitty gritty of that whole thing. But anyways, Tim, Wild Hearts, Atomic Heart, all the hearts.
Well, I
Take it
think
away.
Justin's gonna have some stuff to say about Atomic Heart as well. So I'll start with Wild Hearts.
Okay.
I'm surprised that it is as critically acclaimed as it is.
Gotta
Like,
be.
don't get me wrong, I was enjoying the gameplay. The monster hunting aspects were cool. The building stuff was cool. The story, I didn't give a shit about, to be honest with you. Like, I kind of skipped as much of the dialogue as it would let me. But like, the game itself was fun. It just is optimized like dog shit. Like literally, there's a scene. Well, there's a scene. There's a monster you hunt towards the very beginning. It's like this big snow wolf dude, badass looking creature, and it's snowing. But the snow, it looks awful. It's literally just white lines, and it's like pixelated streaks of white lines.
Oh,
It
no.
looks like GTA remastered trilogy Rain. It's worse. Actually, it's worse than that. And it's a low bar to limbo under, but we did it, boys. We did it. We got under that bar. It's lower than that. It's worse.
Koei Tecmo, they've done it again.
Was getting
Making a badly
anywhere.
optimized game.
Yeah, and I was reading online, like it wasn't better on the other consoles, and it's not better on higher end or lower end PCs than I have. It just runs like dog shit. Like even people with 4090s were like, I kind of got 60 FPS sometimes. And that was pretty much my experience too. Like I was getting 50 to 70 frames a second, usually under 60. It was, yeah, I was not loving, because it felt. The issue isn't the frame rate. I can play games. I play on my Steam Deck all the time. Games capped at 40 frames a second. And I don't have a problem because it's smooth, but it wasn't smooth at a 55 or something like that. It was stuttery. It was really bad. So
Yeah.
that was unfortunate. I think it's interesting to me that game has better open critic scores than Atomic Heart, but lower user scores on Steam. But if you look at Atomic Heart, that's the exact fucking opposite right now, where critics are like, meh on Atomic Heart, but it's very positive 88% on Steam. So,
Strange. Very strange.
yeah. I'd be curious on your thoughts on Atomic Heart before I give mine.
Yeah, on Wild Hearts, I do just want to say, of course it runs like shit. These are the people that made all the Warriors games, and those all run like shit.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, Atomic Heart. I like the premise. But I played, I don't know, like half an hour or an hour maybe. I don't think I made it all the way through the like sort of tutorial phase.
Mhm.
But god damn, I wish I could have skipped through that dialogue, because listening to your main character speak is a chore.
I'm very glad that right before the stream started, I figured out how to change the audio to Russian so I don't have to hear the terrible American voice actor anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was in the menus, like I checked the audio, like, oh, I don't see an option to change the audio. That sucks. Maybe that would have been better. And then I saw there's an option to change the language, and I thought, oh, maybe that's it. And that just changed all the written language stuff for the menus. But yeah, you found out that on the base main menu of the entire game before you play anything, you can change it there.
You can change it there. I just
Oh
did.
my
And then
God.
I like before the stream I did it and then I loaded in and I heard Russian instead of English and I was like, okay. Save. We're gonna hop back in this after the stream. Because I'm only about 4 hours in, so I don't have a definitive like review of the game, but I've watched a few reviews of the game from some of my favorite reviewers who also are some of Cody's favorite reviewers, and Skill Up and Mr. Matty Plays and Game Ranks. And I thought it was really funny because everybody reviewed it on PC, and a lot of the things that I was hearing them complain about, I've found the fix for, and it's this, and I'm not playing it on my Xbox. So one of the biggest complaints I heard, and you had the same thought, was you can't walk. Or no, you can't run.
You can't, yeah.
You can't run. You're always walking. And then I realized today, it's like, no, you're just always sprinting. And then if you have a controller, you can walk. And then that's the same as holding down W. There's just one speed, and it's go. And that go's not very fast.
No.
But that's your sprint.
That's
so
funny.
you can go slower than that. One of the other things that I heard complained about through multiple reviews is, well, stealth is kind of useless because you get discovered all the time. Again, there you go.
Because you're
Go
always
slower.
sprinting on
You're always
PC.
sprinting. So like it's an issue. And there is no always run toggle in the menus. There's no shift. There's nothing. You're just sprinting and you can't turn it off on PC
Yeah.
unless you're playing with a controller.
That's
that
where you really see
sucks.
that it's not a AAA title.
No, it's definitely a AA title. And I think a lot of people are going into it with AAA expectations because there's been so much hype behind it for years and it looks so good graphically. It's gorgeous. Writing-wise, it's an interesting world that they've built. The premise is, I mean, if you've played a BioShock game, the premise is going to feel pretty familiar. That's not like, utopian beginning, everything goes to shit real quick. Okay, BioShock, great. But I thought the whole time I was thinking it, I just wanted my main character to shut the fuck up because it would have been better with a silent protagonist, 100%. Because the way he's written, I think the lines of dialogue that I'm reading in the subtitles seem like he was supposed to be Booker DeWitt. Like he would cuss, but it would be like, oh, what the fuck? Like out of exasperation. Like he's like, but the way that the voice actor delivered it, and earlier when you and I were talking, I was like, oh, it's like he was going for Duke Nukem. But then I thought about it more. He's going for V from Cyberpunk. That's who that voice actor is trying to fucking be the whole time. He's trying to be V. And that's not the right fucking setting for that. Like, he's trying to be a smart-ass merc the whole time who's just lipping off to everybody when you pick the sarcastic options in Cyberpunk. And that's not appropriate to... So, when you're, when you're talking to a robot and then all of a sudden you get the, what the fuck is this? When it's supposed to be like,
Sounds so bad.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, he's supposed to be confused, and instead he's just a sarcastic asshole. It's like, oh, man. It's like, and I know this happens in AAA titles too, but it's more prevalent in a lot of lower-budget AA games, and this did start as a lower-budget AA game. He definitely wasn't hearing the lines he was reacting to when he was reading the script. He just read his lines. And he read them the way he was going to read them, sent them off, and they're like, okay, good enough.
Yeah, it felt like maybe their whole VA setup was not great because I don't know. I didn't like most of the voiceover stuff that I heard. Like there's the cool babushka with the AK-47, but at least for the English VA, she sounded like some weird old British woman, and that
Yeah.
really just ruined the vibe because she was like swearing up a storm, and I was like, this but Russian VA, I think I would dig, but with like this old British woman, it just seems weird.
I had the same problem with Chernobylite. I remember that. Like, I played with Russian audio, so I never had any issues with the voice acting. I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then I was watching other people's gameplay reviews and stuff, and they're like, "Ah, the voice acting is terrible," and everyone's British. I'm like, "Yeah, I could see why." Like, I don't know. Like, even if they had gone the Metro route and at least attempted a Russian accent, even if it was terrible
Right.
Russian accent like in Exodus, if they
That
would have
might
at
be
least
different.
attempted it, it might maybe a little bit different. But yeah, it's just the context was really missing. So I think the game, the gameplay is weird because it feels like you're playing a mid 2008 shooter. Like I was playing Dead Space and then I went and played Atomic Heart today, and it didn't feel out of place because I have to do the same thing to save. I have to run to a save point and save manually. There's no
Right.
menu saving, so like, yeah, and even the upgrade system and everything is very Dead Space in a lot of ways. That's also Bioshock. It's again mid 2000s style, um, adventure shooter, whatever. But yeah, I think it's enjoyable. I went into it with the expectations of this looks like a really good game, and I knew it's a smaller dev, and I think it's this dev team's first game. For a
Yeah.
first outing, are you fucking kidding me? This is phenomenal. For a AAA game, I would look at this and go, oh, this is terrible. But I will say this, unlike Wild Hearts, the thing runs fucking beautifully, which is amazing to me because the graphics are gorgeous.
Yeah,
So,
aesthetically very pleasing game. Like their whole the art style they're going for, I think they really nail it. That sort
Mhm.
of fucking post-Soviet Union but futuristic feels
yeah.
really good. And yeah, once the shaders were cached, it ran great.
Yeah, I really there's a lot of things that I would give that dev team a ton of credit for. Writing, I think they did fine. I think that where the game is has suffered the most for me was the voice acting. And I'm sure the more I play cuz what I'm seeing for time to beat is it could take anywhere from 14 to about 20 hours to beat the game, 33 if you want to 100% it. Well, I'm not trying to 100% it. I'm just trying to play it, enjoy it, beat it. Um I'm hoping that that can be a little long for this style of game. I think the BioShock games were usually around 10 hours, Dead Space usually 8 to 10 hours. So it especially with the writing that they went for, it could wear itself out, but I'm really enjoying the gameplay and visually the game is stunning. It makes me very excited for whatever they do next. I actually think it would be great to see a truly open world game in this setting. Because when I first saw Atomic Heart, I was like, oh, this kind of looks like Soviet Fallout with Bioshock powers. And instead, it's Soviet Bioshock with like Fallout music a little bit from here and there, but it's not at all going for that. It's going for more of the Bioshock style gameplay.
Mhm.
And that's cool, but I am very excited to see what they do next. If they do a sequel and they have a bigger budget, because this game sells well, and I'd say it's got to be selling decently because there's 5,000 Steam reviews now, and 88% very positive on Steam, which again, not necessarily the end all be all, but I think it's off to a good start. We'll see where it winds up over the next few days. 4,678 reviews, so it's got to be selling decently. So
Yeah, hopefully Xbox will be happy with that and keep them around for another Game Pass release.
yeah, hopefully, Focus Home Interactive doesn't completely screw them like they have some other devs. We talked about the Sherlock thing on here before, right?
I don't
The
believe so.
I have
Oh no,
idea.
never mind. I don't think that was them. I think that was Frogwares Interactive. Or no, Frogwares was the dev. Focus Home was the publisher for those. So there was controversy around Focus Home a few years ago. It is Focus Home. I remember it now. Because some of the Sherlock games that have come out in the last few years, developed by Frogwares, one of them got put on Steam without Frogwares being aware, and there was a whole like lawsuit over it and all kinds of stuff. Focus Home has done some weird stuff, put it that way. So they're definitely a AA publisher, and I'm hoping that they don't screw over anyone with Atomic Heart.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys said everything on Atomic Heart. I don't have time to play it, and I watch reviews. They're not super favorable. I will say once again, I know we talked about this a little bit. I don't know how true this is, but the only thing I can think of why the Open Critic reviews are so different from Wild Hearts, how they're kind of like flip flop, is the console players. Like somebody's got to be playing it on console for Wild Hearts and liking it. That's the only thing I think of. Even though I know Skill Up was like, there's no way this is running better on a console than it is on my 40 or 2080 Ti. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, we could all figure that out pretty easy. I got a PS5. I've got an Xbox.
But
I could,
you could
download the trial. Well, I could also, EA has the 10-hour trials.
That is true.
So I could try it on those systems.
Right.
But I've watched reviews on console as well, and it sounds like it's not running better. Everywhere it's like maybe 60 frames, and everywhere has had that weird GTA rain effect for the snow, where it looks just.
Well, then the only other thing I could think of is the fact that everybody likes Wild Hearts, like the core gameplay. They just think graphically it sucks. While not everybody likes Atomic Hearts. Like,
if you really like mid-2000s shooters, you'll really like Atomic Heart. If you have evolved past that, I could see it not landing. I can see not liking the manual.
Are you sure it's the shooter portion? Because I've heard there's a lot of melee in it. You know, honestly, this is going to be a weird comparison. And I immediately lost the name of that fucking game. What was that Xbox 360 game where you were like a detective? It was like a release game. And you were like a detective or like a cop or something. You're like going through these abandoned houses and shit and or like buildings, and you were looking for clues and stuff, and it had some very like generic melee.
That have been Alone in the Dark?
No.
He's either talking about Alone in the Dark or Alan Wake, but either of those don't make sense.
It's not that. It's not either.
Although Alan Wake, you're not a detective, you're an author, so that wouldn't check out. I'm talking about.
I'm so curious. Yeah.
He's not talking about LA Noire because that's not a launch title. What the fuck is he talking about? The melee is pretty simple, but it's definitely more in depth than that. Because when I say mid 2000 shooters, I mean like Dead Space, the upgrades system and stuff. You can do that with your melee weapons. Like there's upgrades for them as well, where it changes the way they play.
Is it this
I have
one?
no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, the melee, you have kind of your light attack and a heavy attack, right?
Yeah, you have your light attack, your heavy attack. Different melee weapons will have different attack patterns. You can upgrade them differently.
Okay, yeah, okay. I think I figured it out. I think it's called, it's Condemned Criminal Origins that for some reason, is popping into my mind when I see that.
That is not. I don't even remember Condemned having combat.
It's not. So it wasn't great.
I remember Condemned because like your character was like taking pictures on their fucking BlackBerry and stuff. Yeah. Like that's what I remember. Wow. It's like you had a BlackBerry that was.
I don't know. I don't know why that's what came to mind. I don't know.
That's so funny.
But that's what came to mind.
I distinctly remember that.
Not that
cover art.
Right. Yeah. That's the same thing for me. Yeah. The eye. Yeah. The eye, and then the first one with the hand over that chick's mouth. I was like, that was what was in my head, and I was like, "The fuck's the name of that game?"
No, that's
I'm not saying the loop's the same.
I'm only 4 hours in, but I'm gonna say I'm nowhere near ready to say it's anything like Condemned Criminal Origins.
Once again, I haven't played it. That's just what came to mind when I was hearing him talk about the combat and stuff. I was like, very simplistic and nonsense.
So the combat's very simplistic, but I will say the upgrade systems are what give you a lot of variety. So,
so 20 hours in, you feel better about it? Probably.
I'll find out.
That sounded very negative. I didn't mean for that to sound negative. But I just, you got to progress, to unlock that stuff and whatever. It reminds me of, so is it like Dead Island, I guess?
God, no. Dead Island felt amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it feels anything like Dead Island. It feels like BioShock with melee weapons and more in-depth upgrades for your weapons. It's like an
BioShock
evolution
with melee weapons. This doesn't sound good. I'm glad there's good upgrades, but BioShock Melee, I'm not interested. Like, I don't know. I just, I was really hoping to be into that game. It's unfortunate.
There's telekinesis like there is in Dead Space as well, which is kind of cool.
I could just play Star Wars and use the Force. Same thing. Like,
Cody's got his fix already.
And it's not even out yet.
it's not. It's not. Yeah, if I want to shoot things, I just play Breakpoint now. Just jump in there and shoot some things and jump out.
That's where we're at. Breakpoint was a meme on this show a year ago. Now Cody's like, if I want to shoot things, I just go play Breakpoint.
I mean, it's so look. Credit to Ubisoft. They tend to fix shit. They stick with it, and they tend to do things that people like. That's
It'd be really nice if they didn't have it broken and fucked up on release. It'd be really nice if they didn't try and force NFTs into the game first and then fix it. Because Breakpoint could have been great.
Hey,
it could have been great.
They could be. Who is it? Konami? Is it Konami who's still doubling down on NFTs right now?
Yeah, they're doing some kind of stuff.
Square Enix is the one who at the beginning of the year, it was like, yeah, their yearly letter was like, we're committed to NFTs. It's like, oh, please don't.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyways, yeah. Hopefully we just hopefully it gets better. Hopefully performance gets better in Wild Hearts, which I don't see why it wouldn't. And then
because it's Koei Tecmo.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I did hear him
like
talking about the
it's
Dynasty
EA,
years.
but it's Koei Tecmo.
Yeah.
So I really want Wild Hearts to get better though, because I was enjoying it quite a bit. Like it just the performance kept pulling me out of it. So, and you guys know I played Cyberpunk on that. Well, you can't see it. That machine back there with the RX 590 and a Ryzen 2600. I'm not a performance snob as long as it runs relatively smoothly. Like, it doesn't have to be super high frame rate, but that was not a smooth experience with Wild Hearts, and that it was rough.
I hear you. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's all we really had for tonight. What time is it?
That's it. That's all of our gaming biz.
Yeah, for the week.
That's all that's happened.
No, bro, I gotta be
dark and
6.
darker. That it's over, Tim.
Yeah,
it's been over for like a week.
They don't have it going on again.
No.
No,
just let us play.
They're just play tests. You just want to watch me die a bunch again? Because I really feel like that's all I accomplished.
Yeah, it's fun watching people die.
I died and/or got killed by teammates is what happened. That's
Tim with the freaking Zweihander.
Yeah, he's just doing this. He's just like it's your fault, Cody. It's your fault, and he's just swinging
the blood from your neck on his sword.
Look, there's an enemy here. I'm swinging at it, and your dumbass walks up on my right towards the enemy into my sword path. I didn't move or turn my camera.
You heard it here. Let Tim just deal with his own problems when we're playing with him.
Right?
Or just don't die.
Oh, man.
I think that's really what that comes down to. There are things that will make you die, and teammates are often one of them.
It's true.
I was watching a clip where there was this intense PvP situation. It was 3-on-3, and this guy is like, there's a doorway, and everybody's like around the doorway going in and out. Yeah. And there's this archer, and all of a sudden he goes, "Get out of the way!" And then his teammate like stepped in front of him as he released. He was like, "No, I killed you," and then like. 20 seconds later, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not sure how I died. I didn't think their archer." He's like, "I killed you. I told you that. It's me."
Dude, that's my favorite thing is like clips of that game. I go back and like it's such chaos. Everyone's like so in the zone that no one hears any of the callouts or like, and then afterwards they're like, just like that, like, "Oh wow, their archer killed me." No, I killed you. Let me show you the clip.
Oh my god!
I said, "Get out of the way."
So funny.
Ooh, bitch, get out the way.
Yeah, I'm excited for that to come out, see how that is at 1.0.
I'm assuming it's going to be pretty good with all these things that they keep releasing.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun with the playtests that they've released so far, and they've added more stuff each time, so it's looking good. I did just see something interesting that said that someone made a claim that they stole the code for that game from a project that they worked on when they worked at NC Soft, because these are like ex NC Soft devs. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, but I was like, these screenshots do look very similar.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't have
There's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Yeah. So the devs for Dark and Darker are based in Korea, and it sounds like a lot of them are ex NC Soft employees.
NC Soft did Guild Wars, right?
Uh-huh. Hopefully that doesn't bite them in the ass.
It probably will. And I just, this is probably.
Yeah.
So.
We shall see. We shall see. Do you guys have any closing thoughts for tonight?
Go buy Company of Heroes 3. Probably.
I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Wait
think
for
about it. It looks
reviews.
really good. I enjoyed the demo.
Yeah. You know what? I also I feel like this February was supposed to be a lot more jam packed than it was, and I would just like to say that I feel like I called it. Hogwarts Legacy is the best fucking game that's out there right now for this year, and it's not particularly close.
Cannot disagree.
So, Starfield, I called it. I said Hogwarts Legacy was gonna fucking review better than Starfield. Looking good. Looking like a good bet.
It's a good start. It's a good start for it.
So,
got a contender.
Anyways, all right. I'll stop tooting my own horn. What do you guys got?
I just wanted to shout out. I think it was Viz Media, maybe. They put a bunch of old anime on YouTube for people to watch for free. So they've got like Hunter x Hunter, Inuyasha, Naruto, Sailor Moon, bunch of good shit on there. They are the subbed version, not the dubbed version. So if you're into dubs, bad news. But otherwise, I thought that was really cool. Very accessible for people who haven't watched that old shit. Or anyone that wants to watch it again.
2 things, real quick. Yes, Ben, I saw him ask this in the chat like last week. Sailor Moon is iconic anime, okay? You know what I mean? It is very much iconic anime. Not saying I've watched it, but people fucking love Sailor Moon just like they love Power Rangers. It's basically the same thing, but girls. And 2, Justin, did you ever watch Trigun, the new one?
Yeah. Oh, the new one. Yeah. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I really don't like it.
What?
Me and Andrew watched the first like 3 episodes, and I was so put off by how violent and gruesome it is because that was so different than the original.
It is.
The animation was good. The animation was good.
Okay.
I did actually like the animation, which surprised me.
Okay.
They did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I your take about the violence is fair compared to the original because the original is pretty like they don't kill nobody in the original.
Love and peace.
Yeah.
It's
like,
so chill in comparison.
And this one, motherfuckers be dying. Okay.
It is incredibly violent. Oh my god, I was so surprised.
Yeah, I will say I do feel like the animation is fucking on point.
It is incredible.
They did nail the shit out of that for some CGI. Like, looks amazing.
It's hard for me to describe what they did with their CGI anime because it doesn't look quite like anything else that I've seen. They did a really good job of like making it look like anime, like especially like the characters' faces.
Yes.
Like it really looks like
Yes.
old school 80s 90s anime, but it's CGI. I was very impressed with the way they were able to do that.
The expressions that they get in the characters' faces.
All their faces,
so
dude.
Fucking good. Like it's. You want to talk about some top tier anime? It's not like it doesn't have like movie level quality like Arcane.
It's not Arcane
or Edge Runners, right? Because those basically got like movie level budgets.
Mm-hmm.
For what the budget this show got and what they've been putting out, bro. There's not really a better like anime out there that you could watch that would be like, this is good. Now, if you watch the original, I can understand because they like. It was originally 2 chicks, now it's a chick and a dude. You know what I mean? They made some creative differences and stuff like that. They changed the story up a little bit.
That was interesting too because Andrea never watched the original Trigun.
Oh.
So from her perspective, she's very invested the way
Right.
they introduce all of this stuff that was kind of only
Yeah.
hinted at
Yeah.
a lot in the original
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah.
So for me it's like, oh, I don't like that they just front load all of this and like focus on it so much, but she's
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this."
So I will say, you guys know how I am. My memory is awful, right? So I don't really remember a whole lot from the original Trigun. I want to say the only episode I really, really remember is that one where there's like a mine under the house or something like that. A mine shaft under the house or something. Anyways, it's very, very vague reference.
Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But I just remember watching it with like Cowboy Bebop and all the other stuff or whatever. And like it's just, it's not the most faithful remake, but it at least does it justice, right? Where it's just like it's
still
good.
Trigun.
Yeah, it's still good. The main character, dude, the guy, he's so good.
He looks
he's
great.
so funny.
I was put off by the gun design. I don't like how his gun looks in this one either. It really just does not vibe with me.
It's more shiny, for sure. I remember the old one being like, it looks like it's beat to shit, right? Because he doesn't.
Yeah,
I
think that's a big thing for me. Is like
Yeah.
I like how grungy the original Trigun was.
Yeah,
It felt
yeah.
like dirty.
It was more like it's still Western, but like the older one was very much like nothing is new in this fucking universe,
Yes.
right? You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
everything's a hand-me-down. It's been used by about 15 other people. I hope it still works when I need it to. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing. And in this one, it doesn't. Like some things look like that, but not everything. So
There's one other thing about it that I thought was cool is I'm pretty sure the town in the reboot Trigun Stampede,
yep.
is the town that they reference in the first episode of the original Trigun, where
think it
Vash
is.
has come from,
Yeah.
and is like
Yeah.
just gotten super fucked up, but there were no casualties or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
That there are a lot of nice little references like that in
Yeah.
there.
There's fan service in there if you've watched the original. So Tim's already playing Atomic Heart. He's not even listening.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm listening. I just had a realization because I was looking at because when Cody said, I've been listening, but when Cody said, "Oh yeah, it was supposed to be so packed," but I was like, "Oh yeah, wasn't there something else coming out this month that I was really excited about that I can't fucking remember what it was. I can't remember what it was." So I was looking at popular upcoming games. Sons of the Forest comes out tomorrow.
Oh dang!
Fuck, I forgot about that. The new Forest game. Yeah.
If somebody buys that for me, I'll play it. But I didn't buy the first one.
You didn't buy the first one?
I
Seems
think
like a Shane game.
I take that back. I bought it when it was in early access,
Same.
and did not play it once it was finished. You know what I mean?
Mistake.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't like flying crocodiles?
No,
God.
I think I watched the Rooster Teeth crew play through it, so I just never had a need to go back and like see the story, right? You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was satisfying. I put a lot of time into the first game, and I like just playing by myself, like not even playing with a bunch of other people. Like even though it's when they added in all the multiplayer stuff, I was just like, no, let's just see how long I can go. And yeah, the new one comes out tomorrow, so you bet your ass I'm picking it up. I might not pick it up tomorrow because I get paid Friday, and I just want to be a little careful. So Friday though, I have apparently I'm going to be spending quite a bit of money on video games, so which is great because it's not like I'm going to be in New Jersey for a week or anything.
Oh, that's right. You're not here next week. I forgot.
I'll probably be here as long as I have good internet. Like I won't be here in my house. But I'll be here on the podcast because I'll bring like my camera and my mic and everything. As long as I have decent internet, I'll be here.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah, I'll be in Joyzy.
Joyzy, eh?
All right. Anyways, sorry, didn't mean to totally derail with the Trigon thing.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up.
This happens once a week. You guys will just start going off on anime, and despite the hat, I don't watch it. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Tim,
you should
start
watch
watching
Trigun.
fucking Vinland Saga yet?
I have not.
I will kick you in
It's
the
right
dick.
there on Netflix.
I will kick you, dude. Watch Vinland Saga. It's
haven't
everything
Anything lately?
It is everything you would like in a TV show, let alone an anime.
The only show I've watched it all lately, and it's only because my wife's been watching it, so it's like our bonding time, is Criminal Minds. That's it. which is, and not like the new reboot of Criminal Minds that's on Hulu. No, like old episodes of Criminal Minds. She's watching it. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'll just sit here on the couch with you while you watch it. Play my Steam Deck.
You could just be on your phone watching Vinland Saga.
I could. Or I could use that time to play video games.
Play video games. Tim's got a lot of repressed not video game time to make up for.
What are you talking
I thought
about?
that, and then I
He's
looked
played
at
the
the
most
Steam
video
meter.
games out of the three of us by far. It's
That's
not
it.
close.
Not accurate. How many hours do I only have 34.6 hours the last 2 weeks. Okay. That's it.
Watch fucking Vinland Saga. Oh my god. It's a fantastic show. Fantastic show. Even though I didn't finish it because it gets there's like a lull in it that I haven't been able to make my way through. Or whatever that I'm not. I told you, but the chopping the head off.
Yeah.
Like they get to that, and I'm just like, this is supposed to be
Slows
interesting.
down.
Yeah, it's supposed to be interesting, but it's not. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I need to finish it
It's
so I can watch
still
the
in
second
the lull
season.
right now.
Yeah, its second season is going on.
Not doing a great
Yeah.
job selling me on this.
Well,
the
I think
first,
Tim,
like-
But he's
you'll
like,
like
here's
it.
where they lost me.
Yeah.
You'll like it, Tim.
Yeah, because the first 20 episodes are fucking fantastic. It's like the last 6 that I'm just like, eh. So, and you finish games. I don't
I'm gonna
finish
have
anything.
I'm gonna have lots of time. I never finished anime series.
You watched Edge Runners, still haven't watched it. I still
Okay,
haven't
I
watched
did
it.
watch Edge Runners, and I did also watch. There was a, I'm
You're
caught up on
Robot.
Castlevania.
Domo
Watch Edge
arigato, Mr.
A robot?
Roboto. You're
Wonderful.
Is it Castlevania,
Robo-
you said?
Castlevania. I'm all the way caught up on Castlevania, and I watched all of Edge Runners. So
Tim watches Western animes.
apparently.
that's kind of accurate. Yeah.
He's like, is it in English? No, never mind. I don't read.
All right, guys, we
I
gotta
was
wrap this
selected
up.
Yeah, we do. We gotta. We do. All right. Love you guys. We'll be back next Wednesday, 10 Central. Like always, we're always here.
We'll have things to say about probably Company of Heroes 3.
Company of Heroes of 3, Sons of the Forest, or if we don't have anything interesting to say, we'll just find a video game to play. I mean, me and Justin might just find Sons of the Forest in our fucking library by Tuesday if Tim likes it enough. I don't fucking know. Like, that's just how it rolls sometimes. So,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
yeah. Anyways, okay. We love you. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.